Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for Tuesday, June 24th, 2014. I am astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. July 1st is the last day to register for my Sedona event, leokingevents.com, and Friday is my July 2014 webinar going deep into Jupiter shifting signs, Mars shifting signs, and this portal that we've been going through finally ending. Check it out at inclusiveastrology.com, or there's a link on YouTube down below. And today we're going to talk about the shifty energy. Oh my gosh, things are shifting around. We've got the moon that comes into flirty, exciting, curious Gemini, and it humps over Venus, which has now arrived here. So this is around relationships, value systems, you know, the core of our love in our life too. This is dealing with, are we ready for some shifts in this area? You know, are we curious? Maybe there's lots of questions now about certain partnerships, about certain projects in your life, and you're wanting the answers. One thing about Gemini is it will research, it will go all the way to plugging in all the numbers and figuring it out. It wants to taste, lick, smell, touch, feel, go all over the place in order to see what it is. We also have Mercury, which is retrograding here in Gemini, so today's definitely a day where there's a lot of questions and the energy is really shifty. I say that because Mars is going to oppose Uranus today. For the next 2 days, we're in an exact opposition, and this is quite, to be really honest with you, intense. Mars opposing Uranus is a really wild card energy. It deals with masculine energy on a very extreme level, especially because we're dealing with the signs of Libra and Aries, which are both masculine signs, which are both dealing with, you know, kind of an intensity of, are we connecting in the right energies? Are we weighing things out? Are we getting what we want? One thing about Aries is it wants to find itself, and especially with Uranus and Aries, it's about independence of self. And then it comes to this hard aspect of Mars, which wants to conquer and win in relationships and connections. So it could be a real battle in our life, especially as here's the moon highlighting relationships, lots of questions. We have a North Node in Libra. This is intense energy. This could be where, gosh, we want this, but we need this person in it. And maybe it all doesn't work out sometimes. Maybe there's compromises that need to be found. Maybe our anger needs to be channeled in a correct way. This could also mean tension I've been talking about needing to be channeled in the right way. The positive of this energy is anything can happen. All exciting things can happen. The negative is, well, a breakdown can happen, a crazy out of nowhere thing, an earthquake, a wild energy out of nowhere, just like, what was that? And making sense of it all today is not going to be easy, because the moon in Gemini already wants to figure things out, and we're in a Mercury retrograde, but it's going to all square Neptune in Pisces. So you want to talk about adding some waves to this, or adding like the numbers to not work, or our mind to really be in a kind of contemplative, crazy spot? This is definitely a day that's going to bring a lot of dynamic energy and quite possibly lots of change, but making sense of it all might be really confusing. Understanding where it goes can be confusing, especially because the sun has entered Cancer, which wants to feel it out. It wants to feel secure in everything that's coming, and there is no Earth in the chart today except Pluto, which, to be honest with you, is hidden. So there's not much grounding today. This is like sliding on ice. This is like quicksand. Oh, well, that is the Earth. Well, you know what I mean. I mean, it's just like, woo! This is like falling through the ice. This is intense. But we need to understand our feeling. We need to find comfort. One thing about unpredictability in Uranus is it's trying to move us in new waters, new directions. We have Saturn in Scorpio, which is making a quincunx over to Uranus and Aries, which in order for us to find the life we want, there are boundaries we need to work on. There are commitments that are going to be difficult that we're going to need to make. There's going to be trust that we're going to need to make as well. And are we willing to open our doors in our life, especially to the universe? Are you willing to go with the flow, even if it's wild, crazy, different? Are you willing to maybe open up in a relationship, even if it's maybe not at the right timing in your ego sense or something? I mean, the universe kind of throws everything in our plate where there's a reason for it all. There's a reason why we've been going in certain directions in our life to bring us to this placement today, to bring us to this understanding, to bring us to this contemplation, to bring us to wherever the wild energy is. Whether it's a lotto ticket won, or a car breakdown, or a wild, exciting opportunity, or an opportunity that finally ends, we're on these really weird sides of extreme opposition of wow, are we conquering the right relationships? Are we finding the harmony in our life? And is it in tune with what we really want? We're going to need to find a way to find both. We're also going to need to learn to find harmony while taking action. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to go to war and find peace at the same time. And in our lives, there's many things that we want to conquer, and we want to do it in a way that is so easy, yet there's emotions on the table. There is trust on the table. There is questions. And it's all whether or not you can trust your feeling, you can trust your gut, and you can make those understandings. And today might be difficult to make a decision because it's just all over the place. And maybe it's not about a decision, but maybe it's just whether or not you're willing to go skate on the ice or not. The card of the day. Oh, wow. Well, this is the Six of Pentacles reversed. This is a balance card. This is a grounding card, and it's upside down. So the universe is probably not going to be balanced today. There's probably not going to be much grounding. There might not even be energy for you to really work with, too, as it's all up in the air. It's mist. It's like trapping rainwater. But I think we find grounding by actually seeing where we need to ground through this. This could be a day where it shows you what this great and powerful and radical energy is bringing in order for you to know what to do with it, to channel it. This is definitely a time to really put it up in the air to spirit, to really surrender to spirit, and to really allow this wild and crazy energy to come in. And even though it might be shifty, it's about enjoying the ride. This is kind of like a really powerful three-dimensional ride, and it's important to get on track with it and not be scared of it. And today is a day where it can be really fun, really curious, really fun and flirty, and really magical as well if you're on that side of the coin of riding the ride. It's those today that don't want to ride this ride. They're afraid of this wild energy coming in, that might have a trust issue, that might not be opening up to spirit, or might be trying to control every piece of the puzzle, which unfortunately might give you a puzzle that doesn't turn out the way you want to, and it's not an exciting and fun, magical carpet ride. Today's definitely a day where a wild kind of energy romantically could take off, a project finally could come together, and on the opposite side of the coin, this is where if you're on the other side of it, it could go way down the tubes really crazy. But this is definitely a day that's going to trigger all of these kind of events. Check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com, if you have any questions or if you want to have a one-on-one reading. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you tomorrow.